Hello everyone, Jacob here. In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about this conversational expression. The problem is, okay? And we use it like this. First, you'll say the problem is, and then you'll follow it with a full sentence. All right? And in Korean, this means 문제는. But in English, actually, there are a few translations of 문제는. We're going to go through each one, but first, let's start with this one. The problem is, which is, I guess, kind of the most direct translation of 문제는. And obviously we use this to point out a problem. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at our first example. Many Korean people want to speak English well. Many Korean people want to speak English well. The problem is they don't study. The problem is they don't really study that much, okay? And actually this is not true for all Korean people, just some, right? There are some Korean people who want to speak English well who actually study really hard. But sometimes it's true that I meet students or Korean people who say they want to speak English well, but they don't really study. So that's a problem, right? That is a big problem. If you want to speak English well, you have to study. You have to study hard. So how do we use this expression? Well, just like this. You'll say a sentence, and then you'll say, the problem is, and then you'll kind of point out a problem that's related to this sentence before, okay? And like I said before, you don't have to use the problem is. There's actually another common way to express this 문제는 in English. You could also say the thing is, okay? The thing is followed by a full sentence. And it has pretty much exactly the same meaning. So let's go ahead and look at an example. I want to buy a 60-inch flat screen TV. Wow, that would be really nice if I had a 60-inch flat screen TV. I like watching movies, so I really want a 60-inch flat screen TV. But there's a problem. The thing is, I don't have enough money. 60-inch flat screen TVs are quite expensive, and I don't have enough money to buy one. So that's a problem. I can't get a 60-inch flat screen TV because I don't have enough money. All right? So instead of the problem is, you could also say the thing is. There is one last way to translate this 문제는 in English. So let's go down and let's look at another way to say 문제는. Well, when you're using it with a question, you want to say the question is, and then you have a question. All right? So a question here. So let's go ahead and look at our last example. Learning a second language. Learning a second language is important, especially in Korea, because a lot of Korean companies want people to speak English, because a lot of Korean companies do trade, import, export with other countries. So learning a second language is important, especially in Korea. The question is, what is more useful? What is more useful? English or Chinese? Originally, I think a lot of people wanted to learn English because it's kind of the global language, but China is becoming a very big economic power. It's becoming a very important country in the world. So I think Chinese is also kind of an important language. So you could say learning a second language is important. The question is, what is more useful, English or Chinese? And actually, I need to make this a question. All right, so in this kind of situation, instead of saying the problem is, you need to use the question is, because we have a question after. All right, I hope you understood the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.